Hi, I'm Raylene, and welcome to Khaleesi Clues. In this video, I will be discussing one of our favorite new characters, Alys Rivers. One thing I love is a good mystery, finding clues throughout the story and putting them together to hopefully solve the puzzle. I previously released a video about Cold Hand's true identity, along with the Night King's true identity, so I figured I might as well give Alys a whack and see what I could come up with. Before the House of the Dragon series, we only had the information written in the books about Alys, which basically gave us more questions than answers. Seeing Alys on screen and interacting with the different characters has really brought a lot more clues as to who and what she is in the story, and I like what I've been able to put together so far. So let's go ahead and get started, and remember, there may be spoilers if you are not familiar with the entire story that has been published in the books. First, I should go over what small bit of description we have of her from the Wiki of Ice and Fire. It states that Alys Rivers was a bastard born from House Strong and a Harrenhal wet nurse. Allegedly, she could see visions of the future and considered a witch queen by some. Septon Eustace believed Alys to be a simple slattern, but also a woods witch. Grand Maester Munkin claimed she was a serving wench with an interest in potions. Mushroom stated Alys was from an older generation, serving as a wet nurse to Harwin, Larys, and even Lionel Strong. All of them agreed on the fact that Alys looked unusually young for her age, which was said to be at least 40 years old at the beginning of the Dance of Dragons. So, as you can tell from that description, the information about her is kind of all over the place, which gives George R.R. Martin and Ryan Condal a lot of wiggle room to grow this character. In reality, she's a combination of all of those things, plus much more. More clues became available when the actress who plays Alys, Gail Rankin, had an interview with Vulture in July of 2024. I pulled some quotes that I thought were clues from that article. Gail states in the interview, "How do you play someone who is mysterious? How do you ground them and make her a person with wants and needs and desires? As this season unfolds, you start to feel like there's a story there, a person and a history. I know it. It was really personal." Gail continues with this quote, "She's kind of like the First Lady of Harrenhal, if there was a government. She knows all the really wonderful spots to go swimming and do fun, pleasurable things. She spent a lot of time figuring out how to be by herself, but that's like a blessing and a curse after 400 years. The final quote I pulled from Gail's interview is, "I do believe she's a maester of sorts and a healer in many senses of the word. Whether or not Alys's potions are actually potions, she's kept Harrenhal on its feet for generations, in terms of just like keeping people alive, or not." So now let's review the Alys scenes from the show. I actually think the current Season 3 gave me the biggest clues, which allowed me to work my way backwards and shed some light on her previous scenes, which led me to think that I am on the right track with my theory. Aemond comes in like a wrecking ball at Harrenhal in Episode 2, titled Queen's Landing. Right after Aemond slays Sir Simon Strong and his sons, you can hear a faint scream in the background right before Alys appears. You can tell by looking at Alys that she is very angry at what Aemond has done, and that she does not fear him in any way, shape, or form. Although he has been stabbed in the back, he is not showing any weakness or pain. Once he starts walking towards Alys with his sword drawn, she quickly brings him down by causing his wound to begin bleeding him out. He drops to the floor, crawling to her feet, and the only thing that saves his life is that she showed mercy on him when he begged for her to help him. Following that episode, the Aemond and Alys scenes do not pick up again until Episode 5, titled Unbowed and Unbent. Aemond is having reoccurring nightmares where he sees Aegon's face burning. He hears his laughter from the past brothel scene and feels that Aegon is dragging him down into the dark. Alys rushes to his side, shushes him to calm him down, cradles him like a mother does a child. I'm seeing a pattern here. Aemond speaks about Helena's vision, stating, "She saw it. She said that I would die and that I ruined everything." As he is gripping onto Alys while she is comforting him, he whispers, "Mother." And when I say that she is comforting him, she is literally hugging, rocking, and humming to him just like a mother does to her child. The next scene with Aemond and Alys is when he wakes from seeing Vhagar in his dreams. And what do we see Alys doing? She's sitting in his room looking over him and is passing the time doing needlework, very much like a motherly thing to do while watching over a sick child. It's very similar to what Catelyn Stark did while sitting beside Bran's bedside when he was in a coma. Alys is guiding Aemond to confront his fears and insecurities by stating that maybe even big, bad, giant Vhagar was afraid because the queen is hunting for her too. Like, it's okay to be afraid. There's nothing wrong with that. It's the only time you can actually be brave. Alys even corrects Aemond when he states that he is nothing without Vhagar and assures him that he has been mistaken for thinking that way about himself. They talk for a bit more, and Aemond believes that Aegon truly is dead because he is haunting his dreams. He opens up to Alys and says, "He tormented me, my childhood. I worshipped him, and yet our mother." Alys understandingly explains, "Sometimes the child that grieves her is the one a mother loves best." Aemond asks, "Who are you?" And we get another clue when she says, "One that has been grieved." The final scene we have of Alys and Aemond in episode 5 is Alys confronts the men who scaled the wall and hunt for Aemond. She becomes angry with them when they disrespect her in the very shadow of her own fortress. That's a clue too, that she calls or at least thinks of Harrenhal as her own possession. Not to mention that she literally asks Daemon to have the queen give her Harrenhal before he left for King's Landing. There has to be a reason that she feels so strongly about having Harrenhal. At first, it made no sense to me at all as to why she would want Harrenhal. Let me keep going and you'll understand too when I'm finished. The men begin attacking her physically. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I think Alys staged this to see what Aemond would possibly do, if anything at all. This is like his "remember who you are" moment, because I believe without any uncertainty that she could easily choke those men to death without even placing a hand on them. Aemond, although still recovering from his injuries, swoops in to rescue Alys from the attackers. With the dead men lying on the ground, a breathless Alys says, "Seems you've taken a turn for the better." Which, in my opinion, this line is like her acknowledging that there is still some good residing in Aemond. She knows she is getting through to him. For now, that covers all of the scenes with Aemond from this season so far. And is it just me, or does it seem like Alys's appearance in this season is very different than her appearance in season 2 with Daemon? Her dresses are more formal and much prettier. It could be due to the fact that she is now like the lady of the house, being basically the sole survivor left there, but I almost think she has the look of a dominatrix in a formal way. I think part of it is that she is just portraying herself in a more attractive way that would appeal to a person like Aemond. I'm not going to include the reviews that I did again of the season 2 scenes between Alys and Daemon in order to keep the length of this video down. I'm going to skip all of that and get to who Alys Rivers' true identity is in the past and what she is or her purpose is in the current storyline. My final results, when I took all of these clues that I found during my research and came to the conclusion that I do believe Alys Rivers may actually be Queen Alys Hor, the listed unknown wife to the past King of Isles and the Rivers, Halleck Hor. So that would make her full name Queen Alys Hor of the Isles and the Rivers. She just shortened her current name to Alys Rivers in order to disguise the fact that she is around 400 years old. Her being a past queen is very fitting for the titles of the episodes that I pulled a lot of clues from, which were Queen's Landing and Unbowed and Unbent. Now you may be asking who these people are, so let me explain that they are the mother and father of Harrenhal, also known as Harren the Black, who ordered the construction of Harrenhal. I have to admit, I absolutely love the fact that Alys is a queen from the past. I think it fits her character perfectly, and it even ties in with the colors of her current fancier wardrobe, that beautiful purple color that is a symbol for royalty. With this revelation, I am eagerly waiting for what is coming in the last few episodes for this season. We still have the dragon egg exchange between Aemond and Alys that we have seen in the previews, which I mentioned in my previous video. I hope it is the egg that I believe Harwin Strong stole from the dragon pit before he left Rhaenyra. I'm also wondering what the final season for House of the Dragon will reveal in regards to the results of Aemond and Alys's relationship that is covered in the books. So we have lots to look forward to in the coming weeks. I'm going to follow up my theory with a brief rundown of the main clues that I used to determine her true identity and how those clues apply to my theory. Putting all my clues together thus far. Number 1, Alys is approximately 400 years old. That means she may have been born around 100 BC if you go by the actual story timeline, with it being currently 300 AC. Number 2, she is called directly or even indirectly mother by Aemond. I think this could mean that she was possibly an actual mother in the past. Number 3, she is someone that has been grieved. This again could be referring to a mother who has been saddened by either the loss of a child, the actions of a child, or even both. I believe it definitely refers to her 2 male children, Harren and his brother, whose name is unknown, that became Lord Commander Hor of the Night's Watch. I'm assuming that the unnamed son who became Lord Commander did very well rising to such an important position in complete opposition of the atrocities that Harren the Black was responsible for. It was Harren's actions that grieved Alys, as I'm sure it broke her heart to see that her once beautiful baby boy became a horrible monster before her eyes. Number 4, she has a strong connection to Harrenhal. I believe she is definitely attached to this castle because her family not only built the castle, but also died in that castle. Number 5, she is a healer of sorts, like a maester even. Again, this is also what mothers do in a sense to those around them, especially those who are viewed as her children or belongings. Number 6, she has been called a serving wench. And yes, she is serving the people who cross her path, trying to guide them to become better people, as we have seen with Aemond and Daemon. She is like mothering them, and the same could be said of the castle. Number 7, She has been called a wet nurse. Again, this ties in with her last name being Rivers and her nursing people like healing them. We even have seen her tend to Damon's hand wound in season 2 and now Aemond in season 3. Number 8. She has been called a simple slattern. The key word to this clue is slattern, which defines as an untidy or dirty woman. Sloppy, one who is unconcerned about appearance or surroundings. That sounds a lot like Harrenhal. Another definition is a prostitute. Another name for a prostitute is a whore, which completely ties in with her last name. Number 9. She has been called a woods witch. We know she has some form of connection with the weirwood tree. And again, the word wood can also be referring not only to the trees, which are made of wood, but a play on the word wood being spelled W-O-U-L-D, referring to the actual dragons that go and do as they would. Number 10. Gail Rankin herself has referred to Alys as the First Lady of Harrenhal, which I believe she probably really was the First Lady of Harrenhal. There is no information as of yet for the unknown wife of Harren the Black. There is no mention of her being alive at the time the castle was constructed or burned, so Alys may have actually been the First Lady of Harrenhal. Number 11. Gail Rankin has said that there is a story there, a person, a history, and she knows it, that it was real personal. This statement also ties in with Alys being the mother to Harren the Black, the close ties to the history of Harrenhal and the death of their line. Last thing before I wrap this theory up, and that is, what is Alys and what is her purpose in the story at this current time? So I guess we are safe to assume that Alys is a character similar to Lady Stoneheart, less the decay and rot, or maybe even more so like Melisandre, where she is actually a more magical, ancient being that is using a glamour as a disguise. She could also be a totally different type of character that George R.R. Martin has created, such as a shapeshifter. I'm really not sure exactly what she is yet, other than something special to say the least. I do believe Alys, along with Helaena Targaryen, are both moonsingers, among other things. It ties in with their magical abilities, such as lunakinesis, which can be linked to casting realistic illusions or altering perceptions. All of those crazy dreams that Daemon had in season 2, and even Aemon's current nightmares here in season 3, are perfect examples of these powers. That is Alys sending those dreams to them. I started researching Moonsingers information this past Monday due to Helena's "I need to see the moon" statement, but ended up working more on Alys and her story. I wish I had more time to talk about Helaena, because back in my Daemon the Dragon Seer video, I had shown how Vermithor gave Daemon the vision of Alicent holding Helaena as a baby. I often wonder if that was a warning to Daemon. Helaena has a lot of powers. Maybe she isn't as innocent as being portrayed. It also makes me wonder if that poisonous caterpillar that she is keeping is intended for Queen Rhaenyra, as Helaena may have believed that it was her order that Daemon acted on that ended with the death of her son. Helaena did ask Rhaenyra if killing Otto made her feel better about the death of Jace. I guess we will have to wait and see how this all pulls together. What is Alys's purpose in the story at this time? I think she has shown that she is like a vessel for the mother. She is continuously doing what mothers do throughout all of her scenes with Daemon and Aemon. She's even mothering Harrenhal itself. She's trying to heal it, make it feel better, show it some love, and make it a better place. Her being called a wet nurse is a perfect example of a woman who is taking care of another woman's child. Alys seems to care for all of those in need, or those willing to ask for help, or accept help when they are troubled or in need. At this point, I feel as if she is trying to help mankind in general. She is hopeful for even those who come to her with the absolute worst reputation around. I don't have all the answers about Alys's identity, such as what was her maiden name before marriage. I would like to think that she may have been a Blackwood before she married Halleck Hoare, because it would also link in Bloodraven's bloodline and bring in the Weirwood tree connection. I seriously can go on and on with my ideas and theories, but I need to wrap this all up with this final thought. I believe they actually made a song about Alys that we recently heard them sing in A Night of Seven Kingdoms. It was titled Alys with Three Fingers. Although it is a vulgar tavern song about a special girl that was born without a thumb and made a living in a very special way, which is definitely not physically descriptive of Alys, but it is her namesake, and it's more the theme of the song that is fitting. The theme serves a bit of dark tavern humor, but also reflects making the best of one's natural shortcomings. Or as Egg summarized the song about Alys perfectly by saying that it is about the act of a dogged spirit giving more than what is asked, and then decides that the girl's name is Hope. Alys being around so far for approximately 400 years is surely the act of a dogged spirit giving more than what is asked, in hope that her wisdom gets through to those she cares for and giving hope for their future. That seems like a good stopping point for this theory. Let me know what you all think in the comments. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.